Welcome back, guys. My name's Alon and this is AcornProductions. If this is your first time here, I'd like to say welcome. In this channel we essentially want to build wealth together, whether you're just here to draw ideas or here to follow. With the copy trading option, of course, on etoro, everyone is welcome. We want to exchange ideas, and eventually I do have dreams for this to be something greater, an investing community where we can all interact. But essentially here we've had quite a good week, guys. We've got Coinbase, which, I didn't know how long this run would go, but Coinbase has just honestly continued to impress. It is specific to some news. We'll get into that in a moment. I do think there's essentially some positive news, not yet with the Coinbase case, but with the Ripple case, which has been going on for a long time. So that was some positive news. We'll get to that later. With MicroStrategies, we're also doing quite good. What's really been surprising me about MicroStrategies, which is really mostly Bitcoin, guys, if you didn't know, they hold a lot of Bitcoin, this company. It's been outperforming Bitcoin itself quite recently, but over the long term, it doesn't really outperform Bitcoin. We'll have a look at that as well. And this is why we invest in these small ETFs. We've got the Innovation Finance one here. This has actually snuck its way to top 3. And then we've got a lot of the same from last week. What's interesting at the moment is we're only in the red on one. Now, just to recap, guys, we are approaching our refinance time. So every 2 months, we're going to have a look at our portfolio. We're going to readjust things. We're going to rebalance things. And things do typically stay the same for 2 months at a time. And, next month, we are going to be incorporating stop losses and a bunch of new things. So we'll have a bigger video when that comes. So the first thing I want to talk about, guys, is Coinbase. Coinbase has been doing the best out of everything so far, and there is a reason for that. Let's take a moment and have a look at actually an article that we found here on eToro. So essentially, this is the semi-good news that's happening at the moment with Coinbase. It is related to Ripple. We're not invested in Ripple, just to be clear. But Ripple has an ongoing case with the SEC, claiming Ripple is a security, if you didn't know, which has been causing a lot of essentially just bad news in the crypto industry. Sort of like the American government doesn't want it to exist. And anyway, here we have a summary of the case, and essentially what the summary is, the judge here, Torres, ruled that the retail investors of XRP were not necessarily linked to the entrepreneurial efforts, and essentially it's just failing one of the tests of the Howey test. Has like 3 things without going too far into it, but essentially it's not a security, and this judge is making new waves. And to be honest, a lot of other countries already know this, but America seems to be late to the party these days. But anyway, this is very good news. And specifically straight after this, Coinbase, pretty much hours afterwards, they actually relist XRP. So this is almost like it's like a spit in the face during the fight, with the SEC and Coinbase. Coinbase sort of knows it's got the upper hand. I don't know what the hell's going on in the SEC. To be honest, I don't really care, but this is a great opportunity here. I do think Coinbase is actually going to continue to do well until the news is fully positive. Remember, guys, we want to sell the news, not buy the news. I actually want to take a moment. I know we're not invested in XRP, but if we actually have a look at this XRP chart, let's just have a look in the past week, right? This has been, let's just look at a 1-year graph. This has been chilling at 35 cents, Let's have a look, Look, it hit $1.50, But look at this huge spike quite recently. It essentially almost doubled, pretty much did double, I think, at one point. It just went crazy. This is almost doubling, guys, overnight. I remember this was crazy. It's the 13th of July. Yeah, literally doubling. So as soon as the case came out, it just exploded. I'll be honest with you guys, I was thinking of shorting XRP. I just generally don't want to short. I mean, as soon as it hit 80 cents, I was like, there's no way it's staying up here. But I don't want to short. The main reason I don't want to short is it's just bad sport. And to be honest with you, there's fees, guys. So when you open, I'll show you, when you open a normal position on eToro, there's no fees. There is the spread, but here the fees are actually quite significant. So I know it's a short-term hold, but yeah, I'm not really interested in calculating and fighting all these extra fees. I'd rather just be making decisions and not have to, profit and then also recapture the fees, because the fees are costing you guys as well. So I don't want to play a losing game where I am making the right calls but possibly not making us money because we're paying all those fees. So I'm generally gonna avoid shorting, but I think this will actually continue to rebalance here somewhere. I don't think XRP is worth 70 cents. But the reason I'm bringing this up, guys, is you can see that as soon as the good news happened, the price went up, and you don't want to be buying here. You want to be buying here. So that's what we're going to do with Coinbase. We're going to wait for a little jump when there's some sort of just final nail in the coffin with this case. I don't really want to hold Coinbase because of its business or company. I'm just noticing that it's undervalued, that it's getting a little bit hammered too hard by Mr. Market, and we're going to sell this on the news. Or to be honest, if the refinance comes sooner, so if the refinance comes sooner, so if it's the end of the month, yeah, we'll also just trim this position down as well. It's done absolutely great, guys, and I want you guys to know that in general, the goal of the horns, so I want to bring this up for a moment. So this is a very simple sort of view of what our strategy is. You can see our horns, our chest, and our reserves. This is essentially a bull. And I've noticed that it's a little bit in common with eToro. Look, eToro's got horns too. I didn't actually realize that. But essentially here, guys, this is just a quick summary. So we've got Apple, Microsoft, Coinbase. So horn 2 is speculative holds. So we're just holding these for a short period of time. And my goal for the year, to be honest with you guys, for the whole year, is to do 3 or 4 speculative holds and to essentially make a total of around 80% from each horn a year. And then I want the reserves to not really be making me any money, maybe 5%, maybe the chest to be making me 15%, whatever the ETFs are getting that year. But I'm going for 30-40% growth through my horns. So what's actually very impressive is Coinbase is actually hitting my yearly target. It's almost at 80%. So I'm very, very happy with this. This has been a great decision, and we'll actually start looking for new opportunities like this for the following 2 months, because I think this opportunity will be coming to an end soon. Now, the last thing I'd like to talk about, guys, is micro strategies. So this one's been quite interesting. So let's just have a look at a 6-month chart. We're doing exceptionally well. As you can see, we're like 50% up. We got it somewhere around here, and it's doing very, very well. Now, if you didn't know, MicroStrategies, with Michael Saylor, he's like the biggest Bitcoin bull ever. MicroStrategies is his company, and he holds a lot of Bitcoin. I think like 150,000. Don't quote me on it, but he's got a lot of Bitcoin. He's bought them at around 27,000 price each, from the last time I've heard. But mostly this is another way to get exposure to Bitcoin. And what's very interesting, so this is a chart we've got in the blue here. We've got just your traditional Bitcoin, and here we've got MicroStrategies, and I believe we're looking at the moment we're looking at a 5-year chart. And what I want to show you guys that's actually quite interesting is you can see that MicroStrategies, over these 5 years is about 100% essentially underperforming from Bitcoin. You can see that there's moments where MicroStrategies is, for very, very brief moments of time, even with, besides this one period here, there's not a lot of periods, it's overperforming. But what I see that's interesting, if you look at this run up here, this is essentially just the interest in Bitcoin. If you think about it, how popular Bitcoin is, how many people are buying it. As that was soaring, MicroStrategies gained a huge amount of interest. And then as soon as the interest peaked, you can see that it dropped back down again. And then here we have again, you can see the similarities, but it just seems like MicroStrategies is underperforming Bitcoin at the end of the day. But if we start narrowing this, we can actually see that the interesting thing is recently MicroStrategies has just deviated from Bitcoin. And I think that's truly because of the interest that's come with Bitcoin and, with BlackRock. And a lot of people seem to slowly be changing their minds about Bitcoin. But to be honest, guys, you know, once everyone gets on the train, it's already too late. When everyone else is on the train, that's probably when it's time to sell. But I think there's a lot of long-term value for Bitcoin. Guys, it's been around for 10 years now. I am eventually going to make a separate video. But the point of what I'm trying to show you here is I think that it's for very, very brief moments of time where MicroStrategies is overperforming to Bitcoin. So if we have a look back, we can see that we're up 50% on MicroStrategies and only up 16% on Bitcoin. So, you know, there is a bit of a difference there. And what I'm trying to say is I'm probably going to cash out of MicroStrategies when the Bitcoin interest is high. So the same as Coinbase. So pretty much I'm going to sell the good news. So as soon as the good news happens, I'll probably be looking to maybe unwind from MicroStrategies, whether I'll put a bit more into Bitcoin or diversify it elsewhere. Either way, MicroStrategies has done quite well, and I'm thinking MicroStrategies will always perform well in those periods where interest in Bitcoin is high. So that's my read on that one, guys. And that'll sum it up for this week. It's been a great week, and yeah, welcome to the journey, and I'll catch you guys next time.